Hey everybody, my name is Darius. I'm a filmmaker and I've been filmmaking for over 20 years now, and I've also been on YouTube for about 15 years. And the reason why I'm starting this new channel is because I'm seeing this huge opportunity that YouTube is now creating for small creators to birth a channel and really feed into the algorithm and meet wildly expansive potential with new audiences. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be a viral sensation. In fact, it can be quite the opposite. You can actually have quite a small contained audience that you can build a very committed following around to support you as a creator, as a small business, and then also to share your wisdom with the world. So, thank you for tuning in. This is the first video on a new channel. And you know what? I really wanted to believe I could make my existing channel the one-stop, one-shop-fits-all channel. And I filmed a few videos and I looked at the response, and it was clear to me the advice that I knew to be true through all the research I'd read was true, that to create a new channel was going to allow the algorithm to give me a lot more space to get really specific with the audience that I wanted to connect to, which is you. Now, why do I want to connect to you? Well, to answer that question, I want to tell you a little bit more about me. So, as a filmmaker, I have made all sorts of different films. I started out making surf films in my early 20s, where I was basically traveling the world making a moderate but enough to keep me going wage, documenting surfers as they traveled around the world, particularly to Hawaii, but many other countries as well, for the seasons of those surf. And then I would edit these short surf films together to then package up and sell back in the era of DVDs. Many of you are probably too young to have even been born when DVDs were a thing. But yeah, I made a small income as a way to begin my career selling DVDs to avid surfers. And quickly off the back of that, I realized that there was a way to channel my inspiration, like the desire in me to inspire people to surf, to inspire people to travel, because at the same time I was doing lots of that. So I made a film that took me all over the world. It was called One Revolution. You can actually check out excerpts of it on my other YouTube channel, Being Here, which I'll link in the show notes. But that film grounded me an opportunity to work with Lonely Planet. And that was an incredible thing as I think, early 20s, maybe I was 21-year-old filmmaker. I felt like that was the dream, to work for a big brand that was doing amazing things, and my career was beginning to take off. And so Lonely Planet split up my film into small segment episodes, because that was kind of how it was structured, and they released it on its burgeoning YouTube channel back then, and the films were a really big success, and I went on to create much more content for Lonely Planet. And at that point they offered me a job as to train up as an in-house director to make some of their long-form television content. And to be honest, at that point in time, I looked at the long-form content they were creating, which to me felt very uninspiring. And I also looked at the team around me. I was working with an incredible executive producer, but not really feeling so inspired by the directors that were currently working for the channel. And so I decided at that point I was going to carve my own path and make my own micro-budget feature film, which was what I spent the next 3 years doing. And that was such an education for me, and I'm so proud of that film. A very small micro-budget film about life in the inner suburbs of Melbourne for a very bohemian culture that I was connected to at the time. But off the back of that, I ended up making a documentary series through, a strange set of circumstances, which took me to Goa in India, where I documented a reunion of my parents' generation. My parents were hippies. I come from a very loose-knit hippie background, and basically through Facebook, all these hippies had reunited and decided to have a reunion. And so I sort of went to document that as part of exploring my own history, while at the same time connecting with a story that I felt would really resonate with a wider audience. And it turns out that story really did resonate, and that film ended up winning me multiple awards, the most prestigious being a South by Southwest award for interactive television, and it went on to be platformed through SBS television here in Australia and opened up the doors to many opportunities for me, which I continued to explore and exploit and journey with for the next decade of my life, making all sorts of what at the time were called like online documentary series, where I'd go and explore a subculture and make this multi-episode short form series to then release online. And this was all very new at the time, so people were very excited by that. And, you know, as the date of commission for the episode would expire, then I would release them on my YouTube channel. And I've released things on my YouTube channel over the years intermittently, sometimes attempting to do direct to YouTube projects. I did a surf series that I did direct to YouTube called Ocean Talk. But for the most part, I was just exploring the making of the films that would then go to other platforms and then re-releasing them down the track. And yeah, my career has gone on to explore many different subjects. Probably the other really significant project that I made was called The Common Thread, which is about mental health in young Australians. And that was another really incredibly successful film that, over the multi sort of platform strategy that we put together, it received over 1 million views, and also had its own ABC half-hour episode, ABC as in the Australian broadcaster here. And so, yeah, I've done lots of different things. I made another feature film after that. And, you know, post-COVID, I started to really notice that the industry was changing, and it was harder and harder to get commissions to make works. And I wasn't really sure of my path forward. I've studied how to be an educator, so I'm bringing my skills of a filmmaker into different educational contexts, running my own programs, working for different institutions. And that's felt satisfying, but also, not necessarily best suited to me, who has always been a very independent spirit. And so coming into the last few years, I've really started to notice a big shift in YouTube, and it really piqued my interest. And it's taken time for me to really land my desire to really commit, because I don't like to do things by half measures. So what I have now done is I have fully committed to pivoting my career to be based on YouTube, because I can see the potential of this. I can see the potential of this for my documentary work to be seen on my other channel. And then I can also see how all the skills that I've implemented over the last 20 years, I can use to educate other people into becoming creators, becoming small business owners through the platform of YouTube themselves. Because I have a real passion for sharing others' stories. That's always been part of my documentary skill set, is that I'm a really good listener, and I'm also really good at finding people who have a unique skill and really embracing, celebrating, and putting the wind under their sails to get that out into the world. So I've started this channel to get the sail under your wings. And what does that mean? So I think it comes down to a few factors, one of them being my values, so I'm really creating this channel for myself to become an educator on YouTube, to create freedom for myself, for my family, and for my future, so that I can be the navigator of my own ship. And I want to share the wisdom that I've been learning over not just the last 20 years as a filmmaker, but specifically the last couple of years, really diving deep into YouTube and preparing myself for this journey, into saying, hey guys, there's really a path forward for you if you have some area of expertise that you're really willing to commit to on this platform and work with it over an extended period of time. Now, is it going to be an easy overnight success? Definitely not. Are you going to become a viral sensation? I would suspect probably not, but the tides of what YouTube means to be successful are very different now. And I think what's really important is understanding why you're doing it. And so for me, as I said, it's about becoming, an educator and a leader in my own space, and cultivating a business that I can support others to grow and learn how to become creators themselves and how to channel their own skills onto the platform. And for me, like, that really meets one of my core values of freedom. Like, I am just so deeply connected to the importance of freedom and sovereignty in my own life, as not to be like hemmed in by an institution, by a day job, by a whatever. I want to be free, and I want to express myself, and I want to support others in expressing themselves. So what I've really learned is that over the last couple of years, the algorithm has really come to support emerging platforms to meet the audiences that they are seeking to connect with if you follow some simple but, very logical steps to make that happen. And it's really about getting very specific, particularly in the beginning, about having a niche that you are going to consistently service. So if you were, say, a woodworker, you just come back to telling your story, what your values are, creating an authentic expression of those values, and showing up for the world to meet people in a way that they're going to feel like, yeah, I've heard your story. I've seen that you've given me value, and I've seen that you've created a platform and a format. So the format is the way in which you tell your story, that you are consistently delivering on a consistent time frame, and in a way that feels like stylized to meet the same style that you showed up before as. And that is going to really speak to the algorithm, as well as there being a whole spectrum of other smaller details that are very important. But for me, what I'm really going to do at the beginning of my journey as an educator is just inspire people around the core principles, and then we can dial down into the details as we go. Of course, Mr. Beast says the two most important things about a YouTube video are the title and the thumbnail, and there's so much to explore there, but that is for another day. What I'm really wanting to do is say, hey, my values of freedom, and then the other piece that I just touched on about authenticity, I believe is what's going to help you stand out. Now, where that is also going to become so important, and there's this window of time to really lean into the potential of what's available on YouTube, is that as AI has obviously already grown and expanded so much, and we're about to hit this next level of just complete inundation by AI created content, the ability to stand as an authentic, natural expression of who you are, what matters to you, and how you show up for life, that I believe is going to be a really valuable asset moving forward. And I really feel clear in myself about like the values that I bring, the life experience that I bring, and the potential to serve my audience, which is people like yourself, to learn how to become a creator and find their authentic voice within that journey. So yeah, that's a little bit about who I am and what this channel is going to be about. And I think, yeah, I'd love for you to show your support for me in this moment in a very simple way, which everybody says, but I just want to express like sincerely and authentically how much it would mean to me with this channel starting with this video. I'd love you to subscribe. Please do subscribe to the channel. And another thing that would not just be meaningful to me, but I would love to hear from you is, what would you like to learn from me? What could I do to support your journey? So please do leave a comment, and feel free to like the video. Anything to say, hey, well done. And I'd love to show that reciprocal support back, and connect with you and dialogue with you throughout the journey of this channel's evolution. Thank you so much, and look forward to speaking with you very soon.